Glad to have you, but the most urgent news that we have to talk about in the world of sports, it's actually the NBA news. The Dallas Mavericks are currently in the midst of a colossal collapse. And the question is why. I'm not going to try to sway you right now. That's not my objective. Very simply put, I am going to lay out some information, and I urgently ask that you do with it what you will. Kyrie Irving went to the Dallas Mavericks in the middle of the season. People thought that it was a brilliant addition. But when you look at Kyrie in Dallas, it hasn't gone well. But it's not just Dallas. Think about the Kyrie action over the course of his career. Drafted #1 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. You would think that Kyrie would really make some noise in Cleveland, but without LeBron James, he never did. A 34% winning percentage without LeBron James. So truth be told, Kyrie in Cleveland, well, losing followed him. Well, cut to, he leaves Cleveland. He goes to Boston. In Boston, you would think he's joining up with Tatum. He's joining up with Brown. He's joining up with Marcus Smart. Winning will be there, surely. But that's not the case. You see, with Kyrie, they lost in the semis. But when Kyrie didn't play, the first year he was there, they went to the conference finals. And then after Kyrie departed to Brooklyn, they once again went to the conference finals. Well, speaking of Brooklyn, let's get there. Kyrie's in Brooklyn. Surely Kyrie, Kevin Durant, we think it's going to go great, right? Wrong. Kyrie Irving, his first year in Brooklyn, they had a better percentage when he did not play. His second year in Brooklyn, identical winning percentage when he did play. His third year, his fourth year in Brooklyn, they are better when Kyrie Irving does not play. It is a simple observation that losing follows Kyrie like the dawn follows the night. I am just presenting the information, but you all do with it what you will. Let me get to the desk and see what y'all have to say about the information I presented. I just presented it. I did not say any opinion. I simply presented the data, Shady. You love you some Kyrie Irving, as you should.
Yeah.
But do the Mavericks have a Kyrie Irving problem?
Well, I wasn't feeling that.
Why not?
It's not a Kyrie Irving problem. Him and Luka's only played 12 to 13 games. That's not enough time to get that true team bond, continuity.
Sure.
That team where I know what you want.
Of course.
They don't have that yet. And I think that the biggest problem with the Mavs is they don't have enough. I think you bet onto this. I think you sign Kyrie Irving, right? You have Luka. You know you have the offensive scoring. There's no better scoring combination in the NBA. That's just a fact.
Sure.
Get them two together. So now I think that now you go out there, you get a little bit more size, you get a little bit more defense. That's what they need.
Sure. But here's my issue then, Shady. Don't just explain to me the last 14 games, because I believe there's 6 and 8 since that addition, if I am not mistaken, at least when those two are combined in some facet on the court. Explain to me, they're 4 and 9 together, mind you. Yeah. So explain to me this. Kyrie in Boston, Kyrie in Brooklyn, Kyrie in Dallas. They say one time it's a coincidence, 2 times it might be something, but by 3 times it's a habit.
But like
it's a habit now.
The way he presented that is so false, right? I see what the numbers say, but like, first of all, when he was with, let's go to the Boston first. Sure. Right? They were okay. They won games. You talk about they went to the conference game.
Without him. With him, they lost in the semis.
But you still went to the playoffs. You guys like it's terrible. Seriously though, because I hate when people do that. Like if 1 year don't work out, it's the worst thing. No, this guy is still a winner. This guy is still a great player, and I feel like teams with him are better.
8 years since LeBron James. That's the last thing I'm going to give you, and hopefully now I'm trying to sway you. I'll be honest.
Come on.
8 years since LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, all he has to show for it is 2 first-round playoff series wins. Explain to me that. Because if Kyrie is a top 10 or top 15 player currently playing, explain to me why he does not have top 10 or top 15 player results. I got 2 first-round playoff series wins. 2 of them in 8 years. 2 of them.
This is what I will say, right? This is what I will say about Kyrie Irving. When he's playing and he's locked in, seriously though, no distractions. You talked about the Nets. With the Nets, I don't think he was fully locked in. He has so many different distractions off the court, you know, his different beliefs and things going on, and he just wouldn't play, right? From the COVID shots and et cetera. But when he's locked in, he's a different player. You talk about the LeBron James. People always want to talk about the Cavs with LeBron, but yo, he don't win no championship without Kyrie Irving, right? Come on, so we gotta get the same way you wanna shine light on him and hate on him a little bit. Give him some love for the stuff he did do. As much as stuff you can talk about how he did bad and he was this, he wasn't that. Talk about the stuff he did do, balling the numbers and et cetera, and winning championships.
Here's my thought process, though, Joy. The greatest contribution Kyrie Irving then made is a 4-game contribution. In Cleveland, without Kyrie Irving, they went back to the NBA Finals. They got swept, but they went back to the NBA Finals. With Kyrie Irving, they won in 7. They won them 4 games. So yes, Kyrie Irving was responsible. If you want to give him
don't make me get his numbers.
If you want to give exclusive responsibility, he was responsible for 4 games.
Thank you.
Joy, do the Mavericks have a Kyrie problem?
No, I don't think they have a Kyrie problem. How is this Kyrie's fault? Is Luka still on the team?
He is.
This is Luka's team, right? Mm-hmm. So the blame should be on the superstar. That's Luka in this particular situation. Kyrie's a new guy. They were bad defensively before Kyrie got there. They're bad defensively now. Mm-hmm. They lost defensive pieces. The problem is not Kyrie. The problem is the construction of the team. And if you want to put blame on anybody, I got to put it on Luka. This is Luka's team. He's the face of this organization. You are excited to bring Kyrie in.
He was.
Furthermore, while I hear everything you're saying about the statistics, and they are what they are.
They are what they are.
I don't think that Kyrie is a player that on his own can go win a championship.
Sure.
That doesn't mean he's not a superstar. That doesn't mean he's not valuable. There are plenty of great players. We say top 50, like top 15, top 20 players in the league, right? That's like the elite. Out of those players, how many guys would you be willing to put your house on can go win a championship? Not many.
3, maybe.
Giannis, Steph, KD, LeBron.
Yeah.
After that, you're starting to get a little queasy. You might be out on the street. But you wouldn't say that those other men that we didn't mention aren't stars.
But here's my thought, Joy. You used that operative word there, Slick, and I saw you're very in tune with this conversation. You used the operative word of valuable. You said Kyrie is very valuable. To me, value is something that is an additive. Right? If you, Shady, you own a lot of homes, you own a lot of properties. Those are valuable because that is increasing your portfolio. That's increasing your net worth. Value is increasing something. But wherever Kyrie Irving goes, outside of LeBron James, he does not increase anything. The Brooklyn Nets never had a better winning percentage with Kyrie. It was equal or worse. The Boston Celtics were never better in the playoffs, going further, with Kyrie. It was equal or worse. The Dallas Mavericks have been worse. So we use the word value, but Slick, I just do not see it. You can speak to that or the Kyrie Irving problem.
I feel as if when we talk about Kyrie Irving, I hear a lot of the same things that I would hear about Carmelo Anthony. In terms of the individual talent, how good he was, but why didn't he didn't win more? Why wasn't he on more winning teams? Why didn't he win a championship? I'm going to help you out, Shade, because there is an explanation for all of those situations. When he came into Boston, he was the player that they built around, with young talent around him, all right? They go to the semifinals. Then they go the next year. They're playing well. He's an MVP candidate through most of that year. He gets hurt, and they go to the playoffs, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown blow up. Well, now the dynamic of the team has changed.
Right. Yes, sir.
And so the roles have changed. That's not on Kyrie. That's just a circumstance of where these young guns demonstrated what they're capable of. So who are you asking to take a back seat? Are you asking Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to take a step back? They just went to the conference finals. Are you asking Kyrie Irving to take a step back? He just got there and said, I'm wed to you guys. No. So that's why he moved on. Now, the overall answer for why I believe that he's not the problem in Dallas, and you guys mentioned it, which is they need time to construct a team around Luka and Kyrie. And I can't ignore what they gave up in order to get Kyrie. I'm just looking at his numbers. Dallas versus Brooklyn. Field goal percentage in Dallas, up from Brooklyn. Three-point percentage, up from Brooklyn. Free throw percentage, up from Brooklyn. Free throw attempts, up. Assists, up. Steals, up. The only thing down, points by 1 and turnovers. So he's been a more efficient player in and of himself in Dallas than he was in Brooklyn. So I can't go there.
Okay.
Now, the reason I would say, I just said he's not the problem for why they are where they are, why they have a Kyrie Irving problem is because they gave away all those pieces with the assumption that they're going to re-sign him. And I was just talking to an executive about this, and he said there's no way they made that deal without knowing that he's coming back. And then he paused and he goes, except it's Kyrie Irving. Like, he has to come back. And the problem is, can they really guarantee that he's going to come back and they're going to build around him because of what's happening right now? That's the problem, is that they don't know if they have him long term.
Isn't though, Shady, and you can speak to this obviously because of a lot of your business and real estate, isn't one of the biggest issues you can ever make overvaluing or overestimating something?
Yeah.
I think that's what happens with Kyrie Irving. Boston did it because, remember, Jaylen Brown had to take a huge backseat when Kyrie Irving was present. You saw his points per game dip, and then he went crazy without Kyrie and has been gone crazy since the years then. You would assume, Slick, and Shady brought this up, Kyrie Irving and Luka, it should be enough to at least keep you at the 6th seed. At least. I don't need you to win the title. But if you have 2 top 15 players in basketball, a top 15 and a top 5, you should be good. The Lakers with AD and LeBron were good enough to win a chip. Yep. So if you got the top 15, top 5, at least be in the playoff picture. I think the dilemma is that you overvalue Kyrie because you trade Finney-Smith, you trade Dinwiddie because you think Kyrie is that good. And unfortunately, Shady, he's just not.
But I'm on the other side of, you do need the star players, but you really need some role players. You talk about that in the bubble with LeBron and AD, but like, KP was big, Kuzma was big, Rondo was big, Dwight Howard was big. Like, you need certain role players to play them roles. So I do love the top tier with Luka and Kyrie, but I just think for them to be successful in this place they want to go, they need some role players. Even the Warriors last year, people didn't think the Warriors could beat Boston, right, in the championship game, but they had role players. Right, like Wiggins becomes your best player, your second best player. Then you got
Draymond, Clay.
No.
Andrew Wiggins,
Payton.
Gary Payton.
Yeah, Gary Payton. He played a crazy role. You need role players. I know you want to kill Kyrie, and it's the easiest thing to do, but he can't do everything. And like Slick just talked about, his numbers are all the way up.
Slick, what will it take for it to change in Dallas? Because they've gone from the 6th seed to the 11th seed. They only got a few games left, roughly double digits. What in the world? How's it going to turn?
Yeah, they're up against it because they have a tougher schedule than Oklahoma City does, or even the Utah Jazz have. I believe the New Orleans Pelicans as well. So to see them jump back in is going to be a challenge. I don't have a specific answer in terms of, from a schematic standpoint, what has to change. I just find it hard to believe that Luka Doncic, because he is the leader of that team, that he is going to accept not making the playoffs, that he's going to find a way to drag that team into the play-in at the very least, because he has that big game experience that the Utah Jazz and the Oklahoma City Thunder do not. But aside from that, this is really about getting Kyrie and Luka and believing that that is your nucleus for now building a better team than you had previously that went to the Western Conference Finals. And it's going to be all about the pieces that they're able to put around it. And that's why the problem is with Mark Cuban and Nico Harrison.
I think that's a
lie.
They're
the ones that have to answer.
I think that's a lie. I don't know. We got to go to break, but here's what I'll leave us with. The reason I think it's a lie is, when has Kyrie Irving plus anybody, not named LeBron James, been an adequate nucleus?
Okay, but we put Luka Doncic right there with LeBron James. So I'm going to give him that chance. When has he been in a situation with a team as good as the team was in Cleveland with LeBron James?
I don't know. That team in Brooklyn was decent last night. They had Kevin Durant.
They all didn't play.
Kevin Durant, right?
They all didn't play.
Right?
They play some games they don't.
They had a good bench. Curry was there, right?
Yeah.
He was
up and down.
How available?
I thought KD was
good. How many games did those guys play together?
They didn't play together at all.
I think Spencer Dinwiddie's already played more games.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.